Hi, it's Samantha Bagdasarian, your realtor with Gulf Point Properties. I'm here with my favorite title expert, Betsy Wilkinson with Wilkinson Title Agency. Say hi, Betsy.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
So today we want to talk about FIRPTA. Tell us what FIRPTA is.
Well, FIRPTA is Foreign Investment in Real Property Tax Act. It is something that has to be addressed at the closing, and it is a buyer's responsibility to make sure it gets paid, but any good title agent knows that you take care of it and make sure that it's done for the buyer.
Absolutely. So what we're talking about is real estate property that has been purchased by a non-United States citizen that doesn't live here full time. So then when they go to sell the property, there is a tax that's applied to that sale. So who is responsible for withholding the FIRPTA tax?
The responsibility actually belongs to the buyer. You would think it belongs to the seller. Now, the money is collected from the seller, but it belongs to the buyer. The buyer has to make sure that it's paid. And the reason the buyer has to make sure that it's paid is because the IRS can only go and find the buyer, because once the closing has happened, the seller is gone, they have their proceeds, they're in another
live
country.
In a different country.
And so the IRS would have no recourse. So that's why it's the buyer's responsibility.
So they're going to come after the person that now owns that property.
Correct.
Should there be tax owed.
Correct.
Still makes sense. So can't the buyer assign the responsibility for the withholding to the title agent?
I'm sure they would like to. But no, they're not allowed. It's not going to happen. The title agent is not the responsible party because they don't own the property. Mm-hmm. So the IRS is not going to be able to obtain the money from them or seize the property if such need arises.
Gotcha. And the IRS does not mess around with that kind of stuff.
No, they sure don't.
So what if the seller or the foreign investor is taking a loss on their home? Do they still have to pay the FIRPTA withholding?
If they want to file a withholding certificate, they would need to get a hold of a CPA or not a 1031 company, but a company that would handle that, and they can file for a withholding certificate, an 8288B, and then dependent upon what the IRS says at that point, whether they want all the funds submitted, whether they want a portion of the funds submitted, it's still going to be withheld on the closing statement, but it's not going to be submitted to the IRS within the 20-day time frame that it has to be done. Mm-hmm. We're going to wait for the IRS to instruct what needs to happen next.
Okay, so there's options there. So if the property is under $300,000, the sale price, and the buyer plans on living in it, do you still have to withhold?
Absolutely not. That's the best for everybody. If it's under $300,000 and the buyer plans on residing in the property for at least 50% of the time that the property is being occupied for the first 2 years, the buyers can sign an affidavit stating that fact, and then the withholding of the 15% doesn't have to be done.
Oh, wonderful. So that's a good option. So it sounds a little complicated, but I don't think anybody should shy away from buying a property that is subject to FIRPTA. If it's a property you found that you fell in love with, you just have to make sure that you're working with a realtor and a title agency that really knows what they're doing. I think that would be the safest bet, don't you?
I agree. Absolutely the safest bet.
Absolutely.
Guess I can't even say it.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. That's excellent information to know, Betsy, and I really appreciate you sharing that with us.
Well, thank you. If you have any other questions, just give me a call at Wilkinson Title Agency, because we open at 8 a.m. and we've been doing FIRPTA closings for many, many years.